King George and David Small. Okay.
Go. There are good things about being president and there are bad things about being president. One of the good things is that the president lives in a big White House called the White House.
Another good thing about being president is that the president has a swimming pool, bowling alley, and movie theater. The president never has to take out the garbage. The president doesn't have to eat yucky vegetables. As a boy, George Bush had to eat broccoli. When George Bush grew up, he became president. That was the end of broccoli.
One of the bad things about being president is that the presidents always have to be dressed up. William McKinley wore a fur coat, vest, pinstripe trousers, stiff white shirt, black satin tie, gloves, and a top hat, and a red carnation on his buttonhole every day. The president has to be polite to everyone. The president can't go anywhere alone. The president has a lot of homework. People get mad at the president. Someone once threw a cabbage at William Howard Taft. That didn't bother Taft. He quipped, "I'll see that one of my adversaries has lost his head."
Lots of people want to be president. If you want to be president, it might help you if your name is James. 6 presidents were named James. President Carter liked to be called Jimmy. 4 Johns, 4 Williams, President Clinton liked to be called Bill. 2 Georges, 2 Andrews, and 2 Franklins all became president.
You probably weren't born in a log cabin. That's too bad. People are crazy about log cabin presidents. They elected 8. William Harrison was born in a big Virginia mansion, though he won the election with a log cabin and hard cider slugging.
If you want to be a president, your size doesn't matter. Presidents have come in all shapes and sizes. Abraham Lincoln was the tallest, 6 feet 4 inches. His stovepipe hat made him look even taller. James Madison was the smallest, 5 feet 4 inches and only 100 pounds. William Howard Taft was the biggest, more than 300 pounds. He was so big that he had a special tub built for his White House bathroom. 4 men could fit in the tub.
Maybe Taft's problem was that the presidents can order any food they want. Andrew Johnson once served his guests turtle soup, oysters, fish, beef, turkey, mutton chops, chicken, mushrooms, string beans, partridges, duck, pudding, jellies, and lots of wine, all in one dinner.
The Constitution says that you'll have to wait until you're 35, young, old, in between you'll have to become president. Theodore Teddy Roosevelt, at 42, was youngest. He had pillow fights with children and played football on the White House lawn. You must remember that the president is about 6, a friend said. Ronald Reagan was the oldest. When he first ran for president, he was 69. He joked that he was 30. It was the 30th anniversary of his 39th birthday.
Some presidents joke and some didn't. Presidents' personalities have all been different. William McKinley was so nice he tried to stop a mob from attacking the man who just shot him. Benjamin Harrison was so cold that one senator said talking to Harrison was like to a hitching post. Calvin Coolidge was so shy and quiet that his dinner guest once made a bet that she could get him to say more than 2 words. "You lose," he told her. Andrew Jackson certainly wasn't shy. When he ran for president, the opponents printed a list of his duels, fights, shooting, and brawls, 14 in all.
Don't worry about your looks. Abraham Lincoln was a homely man, but he was one of our best presidents. He reunited the country by winning the Civil War. Someone once called Lincoln two-faced. If I'm two-faced, would I wear the face that I have now? Lincoln asked.
Warren Harding was a handsome man, but he was one of our worst presidents. He gave the government job to his crooked friends. I am not fit for this office and never should have been here, he admitted.
Do you have pesky brothers and sisters? Every one of our presidents did. Benjamin Harrison takes the prize. He had 11. It's lucky he grew up on a 600-acre farm. James Polk and James Buchanan both had 9. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, and John Kennedy each had 8. 2 presidents were orphans, Andrew Jackson and Herbert Hoover. A president in your family tree is a plus. John Quincy Adams was John Adams' son. Theodore Roosevelt and Franklin Roosevelt were 5th cousins. Benjamin Harrison was William Harrison's grandson. James Madison and Zachary Taylor were 2nd cousins. Some presidents threw money around and some were penny pinchers. James Monroe ordered French silverware, china, candlesticks, chandeliers, clocks, mirrors, vases, rugs, draperies, and furniture for the White House. 93 crates in all. William Harrison was thrifty. He walked to market every morning with a basket over his arm. Do you have a pet? All kinds of pets live in the White House, mostly dogs. Herbert Hoover had 3 dogs, Piney, Snowflake, and Tut. Tut must have been a Democrat. He and his Republican master never got along. Franklin Roosevelt's dog, Fala, was almost as famous as his owner. George Bush's dog wrote Millie's book, Adventures of the White House Dog, as reported to Mrs. Bush. Ulysses S. Grant had horses. Benjamin Harrison's goat pulled his grandchildren around in a cart. The Coolidges had a pet raccoon. Jimmy Carter and Bill Clinton preferred cats. Theodore Roosevelt's children didn't just have pets, they ran a zoo. They had dogs, cats, guinea pigs, snakes, mice, rats, badgers, raccoons, parrots, and a Shetland pony named Algonquin. To cheer up his sick brother, young Quentin once took Algonquin upstairs in the White House elevator. Check out this book to find out more about being a president.